You think it's a sound financial decision because it's not your money. When it's your money, you think differently.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing Danielle and Yohan. I've been wanting to talk about this couple for a very long time, but the clip that I just saw from last week leaves a lot to unpack. Danielle and Yohan are in a marriage woven by lies, and it is unraveling. Both of them are wrong, but for different reasons. Some things are cultural reasons, which doesn't make it right, and some things are just blatant disrespect. Things came to a head for the couple when Danielle moved from New York City to the Dominican Republic full-time, but that wasn't the original plan. Nellie lived in New York as an NYC teacher, and she won't let us forget that she pays $4,000 for rent. She constantly says that the life here in America is hard, and that she doesn't want to move here. Yohan is from the Dominican Republic. He comes from a humble background, humble family, huge family. I think he lived with like 16 people in that house. And as a job, he worked as a fitness instructor, and that's how he was able to assist his family and himself. When he fell in love with Danielle, he said that it was a twofold thing. He was happy to fall in love, but he was also happy of the promise that he would be able to come to America and be able to have a better life for himself and change things for his family. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It is a cultural thing that you do have to explain to your partners, and that's the thing that people don't understand, and I wish that they showed more when they show. I don't know about other countries' exchange rate and things like that, but for the Dominican Republic, when Pedro and Chantel were having the issues, which I'll make a whole other video about that, them, and then with Yohan and Danielle, I hate when people miss that point, that it's like, obviously I know that I have to sustain us in America. So Yohan is like, I found someone that I love. We had tons of chemistry. As we know, they never made it to America. Danielle was not truthful, among other things. Wasn't truthful about her intentions. And loosely told him on the day that she arrived to the DR that his American dream was false and that they weren't going to go to America. She also said really nasty things, and I'm just like, he would have to deal with not going to America because he can't go without her. And sure, he can't go without her, but it's just the optics of it all. As a white woman telling this to, like, you went to a foreign land for this guy that you keep fetishizing, you're literally emasculating him at every turn. The optics of it don't look right. If you know, you know. After being long distance for a while, she's back in the DR for good, and Yohan is miserable.
Y voy al gimnasio, voy a entrenar, a ver si me relajo un poco y boto la tensión.
Eso, ella me contaba muchas cosas, me decía que vamos a tener una buena vida, que vamos a estar bien. Vimos un apartamento muy lindo, muy chulo, ok, alquilado, rentado.
There's nothing wrong with renting. I think his thing is like, if you are paying $4,000 in America, like you could do a lot with $4,000 in DR. So I think
3 meses viviendo aquí y yo estaba esperando que, bueno, iban a comprar una casa, un vehículo.
that's entitlement. Yohan. So here's the thing. So that's pure entitlement, Yohan. Here's the thing. I'm Dominican. I'm from the Dominican Republic. I have family there. I go constantly. In the Dominican Republic, we have a little bit of everything. We have some rich people, we have poor people, we have middle class, we have working class, like in every place. But of course, the disparity is huge. And there is a big culture of people that seek out to get their visas. Do I think everyone that is seeking out a visa is using their partner? No. But we'd be naive to think that people wouldn't be excited about a possible different change in their surroundings, different change of lifestyle. So that I will never judge, but the entitlement that this one person is supposed to do everything for you is not cool with me. Coming from man or woman.
Mío, que él, así mismo, la misma situación mía, consiguió una esposa americana, le compró jipeta, pero tengo toda mi vida trabajando aquí y no tengo nada. Ya quiere vivir aquí, bueno, yo no voy a pagar renta, no voy a alquilar carro, estoy cansado de eso.
That's crazy. Your partner shouldn't be your meal ticket, but they also shouldn't set you back. And I think from this conversation that Yohan's having with his cousin, it sounds to me like his views on marriage is more transactional, which plenty of people have, and it's cool if that's what you're into, but that's a conversation that needs to be had ahead of time. And the way he talks about marriage and the way Danielle talks about marriage is different. They're both benefiting in different ways, but their outlook on marriage is different. And I think that's the big disconnect here. I also was questioning, this also makes me look at things differently in terms of why he's put up with Danielle for so long. And I say put up because Danielle is not fun to be around. The way she talks to them, first of all, most of the time she's talking in English. And then when he doesn't understand because he doesn't speak English, she's like, oh, you're like a child. Everything he does, he's like a child. I'm like, he's not a child, you're just ancient. Like, that's what you get when you're going to be with someone young. Also, do not be patronizing, speaking to someone in a language they don't understand, and then acting like they're stupid because they don't understand. So that's my problem with Danielle. She's also just very dismissive. And so now I'm like, did you put up with it for this long because you had your eyes on the prize of the visa? And now that you know you're not getting it, you're just like, mask off? I hate to think that, but that's what I'm thinking right now.
Claro, así pues tiene que ponerle el punto claro. Porque mira, el amigo tuyo, de novio, consiguió todo. Entonces, en vez de tú echar para adelante, tú le diste un buen giro a tu vida para atrás. ¿De qué te sirve el anillito? El sueño de uno cuando uno logra casarse con una extranjera es por los papeles y tener su propio hogar.
Tengo una esposa americana. Debería dar una vida de rey aquí.
Me casé con una americana, entonces para quedarme aquí, para no tener nada, eso es como un cuento de terror.
That was hard to watch. Whew. On one end, I understand his grief. They agreed that they would come to America. She told him that he would have everything he ever wanted with her, that they would be a power couple. He told him, when she told him in the airport that she wanted to live in DR, he was like, listen, let's compromise. We agreed on something else and you're changing it up on me, but sure, I'll agree to living in DR for a year and then we can revisit the conversation. And so he was hoping that she would see how drastically different life is in DR and that she would miss her life in America and decide to come back. That never happened. I will say life in the Dominican Republic is great, but it's hard. It has its own challenges. The challenge for me as a Dominican American was the first time I ever went to the doctor out there. I was like, am I ever going to be seen? Like, it's just a different pacing. So, and she has such a demanding personality that I really didn't think that she would make it. But then the hippie part of her is like, I love going to the beach every day. I love doing yoga on the beach. And she's stuck on that. They had also talked about wanting kids together. And she made it seem like, because she always talks about her bougie lifestyle, bougie skincare, bougie rent, bougie everything. She was like, I got it made. And she got to DR and she's like, I actually need your help to pay for everything. And he's like, I don't have it like that here, which is why I wanted to go to America so that I can work towards that. How are you? I'm already poor here and you want me to support you here? So I understand what he was saying. And again, these were all things that she pulled on him last minute. Get her. I expect, if we're living together, I expect my partner to also provide for the household. But this was a household that he had no plans for. Not in this setting. And now the situation, like I mentioned, with the age gap. I don't know why people get into these big age gap relationships and say they want kids. You should have thought about that before you got with said partner. Kids are not something to play with. It takes planning. And she's 40 something. For her to start planning kids now, it would obviously take science and money. And he was just like expecting her to get pregnant naturally, and it's not happening. So he's like, I can't go to America. I can't make money. I can't have the family I want. Started a butcher shop. She judged the butcher shop because it wasn't up to the conditions that she found appropriate. She beat up his ego. That business failed. He's just like, he had like 3 jobs last season. Now he doesn't have any. And she just belittles him, beats him up emotionally. So this man, he's over it. And we could see it in his face. And don't even get me started on that whole drama with her ex last season. He's been fixated about his friend having a car. And he wants to go car shopping because currently they rent a car every time they use it.
We're gonna go check out a car that Yohan
She doesn't have any intention of buying a car.
I feel like it's not the first thing that we should be in.
La Rudel la vendimos la semana pasada, pero tenemos más vehículos ahí. Vamos a te voy a mostrar la Nissan Frontier. $32,000.
Why is she talking English to the Dominican?
32,000. We don't need a car every day. So if we cost us $30 a day to rent a car in the Dominican Republic, we don't need a car every day. So if we have that money, we should use that to invest in a house or an egg.
Why are you here?
Ve bien el carro, es el precio del carro.
¿Tú tienes $30,000? You think it's a sound financial decision because it's not your money. When it's your money, you think differently. You don't even want to pay for light. You run around the house turning the air off and we die.
I think they're both each other's karma. They both got into it with agendas and are refusing to bend, and they're fighting to the death. If none of y'all have money, what are you doing at the car dealership exactly? That's one. 2, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And Danielle begs for this man to stay with her, but she acts like she hates him. Danielle doesn't say, I don't have the money or I can't afford this. She says, I'm not your sugar mama. Babes, yes you are. Because you set it up that way. And again, you could have just been like, I'm not going to the car dealership. But you take him, you shut him down, and then you berate him after. How did you think any car was going to be purchased? $32,000 or not? The difference between I can't afford this and I'm not your sugar mama is that one says, I got it and I don't want to give it to you. And the other says, I can't do it. I don't have it. And one of them has a level of arrogance and malice. And one is just a simple statement, at least a little bit empathetic. But she hates that man. And therefore he hates her. About it is that we've heard the rumors of Danielle actually being in debt, and that's why allegedly she left to the Dominican Republic. So it's like, babe, you don't have it. You never had it. But you have this chip on your shoulder, this arrogance that you know better, that you can do better. And it's like, you're begging this guy for rent. You're like, this whole, both of them, every angle you look at is just bad in this relationship. I think we're seeing a man who has had enough. And it's not pretty. Do I think that Danielle deserves this? No. He doesn't deserve the treatment that she's given him either. What he should have done is just left her when he felt that their agreement changed. Because instead, he's harboring resentment. I mean, I honestly don't know what I'd do if I married someone and they completely changed the entire dynamic of our relationship, the way our relationship operates overnight, and I'm stuck. They both did each other so dirty. Because now what he's doing is, I don't agree with any of the decisions that you've made for me, so now you're going to deal with the consequences. I'm going to punish you by not contributing to our life. Emotionally, he's probably going to contribute physically. You know what I mean? But he's not going to contribute financially. I understand that he feels emasculated. And he's like, oh, you want to be the man of the house? Then be the man of the house in all ways. And it's bad. I don't agree. He's not wrong for wanting a better life, but he is wrong for expecting it in an all or nothing way. She is wrong for lying and never taking accountability. There are two wrongs in this situation, and everyone has blame to claim. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, please let me know in the like button and leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this couple. Is there a couple that I should cover? Let me know. See you in the next one.